Hey, welcome back everyone. This is going to be part 3 in my 375 Ruger guide gun series. Last time we developed a really good plinker load for general practice using 235 grain Spear hot core and Trail Boss powder. So I already have a really good load worked up for this rifle with 350 grain Woodley weld cores and H4350, but it's a little bit much for black bear and even for moose. It does a lot of meat damage. So as promised, we're developing a high velocity mid-weight load for this rifle for general purpose hunting. I've had a good supply of the Barnes 270 grain LRX bullets, the pretty blue tip. And I've tried these with some different powders, didn't have a lot of success with them. They shot okay, but it was hovering around 2 inches, which is the kind of accuracy I generally get with mid-weight bullets in this rifle. As I've said in the previous videos, it really likes the heavy bullets. The 300 grain bullets shoot good. The 350 grain Woodley weld cores shoot fantastic between 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. So, like I said, they do too much damage. Perfect for brown bear protection. Not exactly perfect for shooting black bears for meat, stuff like that. So 270 grain would be a good weight for general purpose hunting. And I like the idea of a Barnes all copper bullet or one of the alloys. You know, there's some different brands. But this is going to do a lot less meat damage. It's typical with Barnes. And also, it's a lead-free bullet, so you don't have lead blowing through the meat. You're not picking lead out of your teeth and that sort of thing. So I really think these will be ideal. Now, the LRX is a fairly high BC for a 375 caliber bullet. It's pretty good, pretty aerodynamic. If I can push these up to around 2,700 feet per second or a little hotter, maybe 2,750, it'll have almost exactly the same characteristics as a 308 Winchester with 165 grain with an average load. It'll really be able to stretch this rifle out and make it more of a mid-range hunting rifle and make it a lot more versatile than just with the heavies. So, settled on H4350 powder. I haven't tried these bullets with it yet, so I've had good luck with H4350 in this rifle with different bullets. Not so much the midweights yet, but it's kind of my last attempt at these to try and get them to shoot good. I'm not looking for sub-MOA accuracy. I'm looking for about an inch, even if it's 1.25 inches, 1.5 at 100 yards, that's fine. The way this rifle's set up with a 1:5 scope, I'm not going to be stretching it out there to extreme distances. So I would really like to be able to make consistent, good, solid hits at 300 to 400 yards. That's a lot farther than I've ever had to shoot a moose or really much of anything else. So 300 to 400 yards, it's carrying a huge amount of energy, and if it'll shoot accurately, this would be a fantastic hunting load. So I have loaded up 5 different charges with the H4350 at a cartridge overall length of 3.380, and that's about 50 thousandths off the lands in this rifle. I loaded from 80.5 grains to 82.5 grains in 1/2 grain increments. So let's hit the range, see how we did. was a pretty good day at the range. Started out kind of ho-hum, and I apologize, by the way, for the audio in that video. It was really windy that day, and a good microphone is just not in my budget right now, so we do what we can. Starting off, the groups were right around 2 inches, which is what I've come to expect out of this rifle with the midweight bullets. You know, like I said, the heavy ones shoot well under 1 inch. Midweight ones usually between 1.5 and 2.5 inches. So we were running 2.1 inches pretty much. But the numbers were excellent. Standard deviation of 3.2, extreme spread of only 8, and good velocity too. Average 26.98 to start with. Worked our way up, crept up really nicely on the velocity. This second group, our standard deviation was only 2.6, extreme spread of 6. I've seen this a lot with H4350 at a very full case capacity. You start seeing really good numbers, really tight numbers. And so tickled with the numbers, wasn't so tickled with the groups until we got down to our last charge. And at the last charge, that's just about the best group I've shot with this rifle with a midweight bullet like these 270 grain. Average velocity at 26.75. That's outstanding. I was shooting for, you know, 27.50 for a really good number, so we exceeded that. And standard deviation of only 3.5, extreme spread of 9. I'm tickled with those numbers, and the group at just over 1 inch, 1.08. Very excited with this, but you know, it's just a single group with 4 rounds. So I was excited, but not overly excited. I mean, that's within the variation of, you know, me holding a 5-power rifle. Thought, you know, the numbers are great, but the good group could be just a fluke. So what I ended up doing is, you know, after I got home from the range, looking at it, you know, is kind of eating at me. So I loaded up another 4 rounds with this top charge, and as soon as I got a chance, I went back to the close range here, our local range at the power line, and reshot that. And I didn't bother setting up cameras and everything. I really didn't have enough time to do it. It was getting late. I just wanted to verify that that was the real deal, and it was. It shot, I think it was 1.02 inches. So it's shooting them at about 1 inch with that top charge. I'm tempted to keep going with it and see if it would tighten up, maybe even a little bit more. But the velocity is getting up there pretty high, and I don't have any reason to push this rifle harder than I should. With a 20-inch barrel, 27.65 is going pretty damn fast with the 270 grain bullet. And also, you know, these Barnes bullets are very long, and the charge was really compressed. Actually, we started getting compression on the very first charge. It was a full case, and every half grain working up, man, it was really crunching. And by the time we were at 82.5, I was crunching a lot of those sticks of H4350 in that case. And you know, it's just beyond compressed. I don't want to go any farther with it, and I was really hesitating. It was so compressed, even though it's well under book, that I knew it wouldn't be a problem, or according to the book, it shouldn't be a problem. But with that much compression, you know, there's no reason to go any further. Numbers are fantastic. It's shooting a good group. And honestly, even if I tighten it up a little bit, what, another 1/4 inch maybe, who cares? What's the difference? I'm not going to be shooting this rifle at 700, 800, 900 yards. So, you know, even out at 500-600 yards, you know, it's minute of angle. You're well in minute of moose. So looking at the Nikon Spot On Ballistic app, I use that a lot. It seems to be very accurate, very dependable. I think, you know, with this scope, for most big game hunting, moose, caribou and stuff like that, my maximum range with this setup would probably be 400 yards with a really good rest. It's a low power scope. Could probably go farther, but I would want a lot of practice in order to stretch it out farther than that. So at 400 yards with this setup, my holdover would be 23.5 inches, so pretty good. It's right around like my 308 is at 400 yards, about 2 feet of holdover. At that distance, 400 yards, this bullet, the 270 Barnes LRX, is still traveling 2,010 feet per second and carrying 2,419 foot-pounds of energy. So massive energy even out there at 400 yards. Velocity plenty enough to open up even a Barnes, and the LRXs are supposed to open up well even down to lower velocities like 1700 feet per second. I've heard too many bad stories about Barnes not opening up below about 2,000 feet per second unless they hit bone or something. So I don't want to take a risk with that. I want to keep that velocity, if I can, 2,000 feet per second faster. And so effective range with this round, the rifle set up the way it is, 400 yards. That's probably farther than I'll ever need to shoot a moose, but it's good to know that I can do it. And of course, I'm going to verify all those numbers extensively before I ever take a shot at game at range like that. Like I said, I'll probably never need to do it, but if Bullwinkle's standing there at 400 yards smirking at me, you know, it'd be nice to know I can put him down and have a reasonable margin of error on it. So thanks for checking out this video. We're pretty well set on loads for this 375. We got our 350 grain brown bear thumper for protection. We've got our 235 grain plinker load with the Trail Boss powder for practicing field shooting positions and just general shooting and having fun. And now we have a really good mid-weight load for our meat hunts, for moose, black bear, caribou, and that sort of thing. So the versatility of this rifle is now outstanding. Really, it's the one rifle that I really could not part with in Alaska. I have other rifles I use for hunting, of course, but with this one, now with these loads, I could carry one rifle and be good for just about everything. Thanks for checking us out, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.